Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Justin and you're just in time to dive into the world of public restrooms. From vandalism to biohazards and even nefarious crimes, it makes you wonder why it's called a restroom in the first place. Honestly, it's more of a porcelain prison cell if you ask me. I mean, I'm sure we've all been there, right? You're away from home and nature calls. Now, do you risk turning your underwear into an abstract art project, or do you admit defeat and succumb to the siren's call of a gas station bathroom? If you do decide to risk it, the best you could hope for is a semi-clean toilet with a full supply of toilet paper, but odds are you'll be met with something like this. I know people who flat out refuse to use them at all, and I can't blame them either. Personally, I'm sick of those things looking like a Splatoon match gone wrong. Anyways, what I'm getting at here is that almost everyone has some form of horror story when it comes to a public restroom, and that's what I want to talk about today. Story time. One time in high school, I went to use the restroom, and in the stall, it looked pretty clean, so I wasn't thinking too much about it. But as soon as I sit down, I just get this waft of like dirty asshole stench. And for a second, I thought it was the person in the stall next to me, but there wasn't even anybody in there. So after huffing fumes for about 10 minutes, I bend over to go grab my backpack, and out of the corner of my eye, I spot something. A little hidden treasure just for me. Turns out a twisted little freak bastard had shit in their boxers, balled them up, then stuffed them directly behind the toilet in that little space that goes against the wall. And it was like a hidden scent diffuser, but instead of like spraying ocean breeze, it was just straight sewage. As gross as that is, I don't think I'm alone with experiences like this either. The infamy of a public bathroom has gotten so bad that there are people who are writing articles on where to find the worst public restrooms. In fact, Graham Astley wrote an article detailing the world's worst toilet. He went to places like Tajikistan and Indonesia and documented a compilation of Earth's lowlights such as, and. Now, a lot of these I would struggle to classify as a public restroom, but if a community has access to it and uses it, then I guess even this is classified as a public restroom. I guess there are more than 7 wonders of the world after all. With the growing popularity of social media sites like TikTok, people have been finding unique ways to farm that sweet, succulent clout. One of these methods involves filming themselves giving the stalls a golden shower, or just simply ripping toilets from the floor. Which on one hand is pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie, but if I got flashbanged by a cocoon, I'd probably blow a gasket. Some people have taken to Reddit to post the miserable states they find these spaces in. For example, this photo taken at a state park shows approximately 2 cups of tummy butter piled on the hinge of a toilet seat. It's also surrounded by what can only be described as a hoarder's wet dream. Here's another one for you. This image was shared on r/Lowe's with the caption, "Passed a contractor on his way out of our restroom. This guy somehow managed to miss almost the entire toilet and sprayed the wall." I guess the contractor turned out to be a painter after all. Speaking of a painting, a personal favorite of mine is this one that gets worse the longer you look at it. First off, without addressing the elephant in the room, almost every inch of the toilet seat is caked with stomach syrup. It's also smeared all over the handle, which is especially f***ed up because now no one can even attempt to remedy the situation without facing the beast head on. And on top of that, they managed to have enough material to eloquently write the word shit on the wall above. We seriously do not pay janitors enough, man. That last one gives me Vietnam flashbacks to another time in high school. Same stall too. I know I got a gambling problem, but anyways, I go in there immediately. It looks like a extracurricular art project took place and somebody I think they were trying to write their name, but they just smeared shit all over the wall. I didn't stick around to really like try and read it, but it was pretty illegible either way. So I just kind of closed the stall door and dealt with the stomach ache for the rest of the day. Okay, enough of trying to make everybody puke though. Let's talk about another shockingly common aspect to the public restroom. In the field of internet clout chasing, one common trope you might come across is turning bathrooms into rage rooms. There's plenty of videos of people ripping entire countertops off the wall or doing shit like this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've definitely blown up a few bathrooms in my time, but not like this. Some of Earth's top intellectual talent are setting our beloved water closets ablaze with fireworks. And it's not just a small handful of cases either. Clips like these were a dime a dozen and by far the most prevalent when I was researching for this video. A few of these incidents have garnered news coverage as well. like this one report of a men's restroom in Washington's Moses Lake that was left in shambles after an unknown suspect had lit off fireworks inside. The sink had nothing but the faucet left intact, and the toilet was split in half. A separate firework-related occurrence shows a Texas man lighting a firework inside of a porta potty and hauling ass back to his Ford F-150 before speeding off into the night. Also, side note, I found out that apparently those porta potties are upwards of like $5,000, which is crazy because every time I've used one, it either smells like meth or sulfur. So, aside from fireworks, these holy temples of piss and are also subject to students stuffing light bars in the toilets and spray painting the walls, such as this one scenario in West Seattle High School where it's apparently become a regular occurrence. Some students have gone on record saying they don't even bother going in there anymore, which if I had to encounter a boss fight every time I had to take a I'd probably do the same. It wouldn't be a video about public restroom disasters if I didn't at least mention devious licks. Now, I'm sure most of us are familiar with what devious licks are, but for those who don't, it was a viral TikTok challenge where people were filming themselves stealing random bull from different establishments, primarily school bathrooms, and it didn't just stop at paper towel dispensers either. Everything was on the table. Ceiling tiles? Yoink. Mirrors? Take them off the wall. Urinals? Grab that too. The cries of disgruntled faculty members and parents didn't go unheard though, as news outlets began covering the trend. TikTok actually ended up removing the term devious licks from its search function entirely. I only came to discover that when I was trying to find content and I was just presented with this message. That new shit though. Let's talk about a hood classic. Tipping over porta potties. That's right, we're bringing back the porta potties. Bitch. You know, there's nothing like trapping an unsuspecting victim inside an oversized Tupperware container and spilling yesterday's leftovers all over him. It's one of those things where if I see it, I'd probably laugh, but I know if it happened to me, I would turn the entire zip code into a statistic. There's something frightening about having the thought of slamming your head against the dirt through a thick plastic wall while every bodily fluid known to man sloshes all over you. At least in this video, this guy comes out with a smile on his face. Like, I'm glad he's a good sport about it, but I think I'd rather just got shot in the head. For some strange reason, crime is a popular choice to make in the same place you happen to take a There's a plethora of different crimes that have occurred in public restrooms, and it's not just stealing toilets. You have to think bigger. What if you stole a toilet made of gold? In September of 2019, a group of thieves managed to steal an 18-karat gold toilet from Blenheim Palace in Woodstock, England. Using crowbars and sledgehammers, they were able to pry the estimated $6 million potty from the floor and carry it out of the building. The quest to find the elusive gold shitter lasted quite some time too. After almost 4 whole years, these potty pirates were finally caught in 2023 and sentenced by British courts as late as 2025. Another case I came across takes place in the great state of Oklahoma. A man by the name of Sean Lang from Grady County barricaded himself inside a porta potty while being pursued by police. The stubborn bastard refused to come out, so the cops concocted the most straightforward plan you could imagine. They began shooting pepper spray inside of the vents in order to flush him out. Unsurprisingly too, it worked. Like, I mean, how the f*** are you gonna fight against that? He didn't go down easy though. As he left the porta potty and officers attempted to detain him, he began resisting arrest, and while he was being cuffed, he allegedly kicked a deputy in the chest twice. Lang later admitted to having meth on his person and had gotten high before this went down. He faced charges of assault and battery on an officer, as well as public intoxication. It's not all fun and games in the realm of restroom-related crime, however. A sinister case happened in Gloucester, Massachusetts, where a man by the name of George West was accused of filming thousands of men in public restrooms dating as far back as 1996. West has gotten away with it for 29 years until he was arrested in August 2nd, 2025. He was facing 17 counts of unlawfully filming another person, in addition to 1 count of disorderly conduct. The 77-year-old man ended up pleading guilty to 5 charges, with 1 being possessing obscene material for distribution and 3 counts of filming a non-consenting nude minor. What the f***? Apparently he was only sentenced to 2 years of house arrest. Holy shit. Listen, I wasn't lying when I said this video is about horror stories. It gets worse too. There was a case that happened as recently as June 28th of this year, in which a dead baby was found inside of a porta potty at Electric Forest Music Festival in Michigan. It has not been disclosed how the baby passed, and sadly no suspects have been identified. And to make things worse, it was discovered alongside a placenta and its umbilical cord. This implies somebody gave birth in the porta potty and just left it there. The mother of the child has also not yet been confirmed, and the investigation is still ongoing at the time of this video. Jesus Christ, man. Okay, let's take a step back. Setting aside the obvious evil in the world, I want to talk about some more lighthearted stories. This just in. On July 14th in Kansas City, a man was caught trapped in a porta potty during a World Cup event. After one of the employees of the porta potty company went to retrieve the units, they found that one of them was still locked. They gave him an advance warning, said, "I'll be back in 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, he said he couldn't reach the lock. So they bust into the porta potty and they don't see anybody. There's no one in there until someone pops his head out from the toilet bowl. Turns out this man had dived inside of it and was essentially trapped in there. They couldn't get him out, so they called firefighters over, and the firefighters had to come by and cut him out of it using a Sawzall. After attempting to help this guy out for quite some time, he insisted that he couldn't get out. He kept telling the firefighters, listen. Then the firefighters were responding, "I'm not listening. I'm not doing that. You need to stick your arm out and get out of there." After this back and forth banter between the man and the firefighter, the guy has the gall to call the firefighter trying to rescue him from this doom a dumb and the firefighter has one of the best responses I've heard in a while. He says, "I'm the dumb while singing a urinal." The jokes write themselves. They eventually get this man out and they, turn the water on the truck and they give him a free shower. Great, right? There was a follow-up from one of the people that works at that porta potty company that specified a few key details that we weren't privy to from the original video. Turns out the man, at least his excuse, was that he had dropped a Mountain Dew bottle inside the toilet the night before. Now, what this means, if he's not just blowing smoke up our asses, is that he was in there for about 8 hours. Which, I'm sorry, if I drop it in there, it's forfeit. I'm not gonna drink that. There's piss, cum, and puke all over the in superheated porta potty. That's foul. That's foul as Which, first off, Mountain Dew's not that good. Let's be honest. Yeah, anyways, this story came out after I'd already finished writing everything for the video, but I just could not leave it out for the context of what was happening here. So I wanted to throw it in. Back to the rest of the video. An aspect to the public restroom that one might not consider is its versatility. And I don't just mean being able to puke and piss all in one spot. Think about it. All that open space between the sinks and stalls, it's the perfect place to throw down. Anyone who's gone to public school is familiar with the concept of a bathroom brawl, and it's one place where there aren't any cameras. And if you ain't vaping in there, you're fighting. It's basically the octagon if instead of padded floors, it was tile that hadn't been mopped in a few days. I feel for the guy who isn't involved at all getting dragged into this cute couple's business because he simply had to pop a squat. Those flimsy doors are only good for imagining you're separated from the rest of the world, because all it takes is two dudes who are unreasonably pissed at each other to tear down that false sense of security. I don't know about you, but I would like to consider the bathroom to be a space of privacy, somewhere you can go to get away in a time of need. However, some people tend to take advantage of this and do, let's just say, less than stellar activities. With freaks off their leash and no one to tame the beast, these folks set aside their dignity and use it as an opportunity to risk catching an indecent exposure charge or two. Take this one for instance. In this video we see not one, not two, not three, but 4 people walk out of what looks to be a one-person restroom. With 3 guys and a woman, we can only assume what was going on in there. I think we know. As the Great Value Suicide Squad stumbles out of the building, we see one of these distinguished gentlemen limping away. It's hard to say if it's because his knees were sore after taking down Harley Quinn over here, or if the rocks they may or may not have been sparking up are finally starting to get to him. Some people like it a little more personal, a more monogamous relationship. Like this couple who decided a bathroom stall would be a perfect place to propose. Just look at those lovebirds. Aww. Maybe you're more of a Lone Ranger type. If so, this one might be a little more relatable to you. This individual just so happened to stumble across this plunger where the end of the handle looks like it has a story to tell. This is some Skyrim level world building, folks. Holy shit. It's no secret that deviants walk among us like skin crawlers wearing human skin. And it makes it even crazier to think about how common shit like this really is. So today I've brought a special guest to tell a personal story I'm sure you all would appreciate.
All right, so there was this one time I used to go to the gym and I would try to avoid the locker room at all costs. But, eventually you have to go in, take a piss, and go to your locker and do whatever. So one time I go into the gym locker room and I hear an interesting noise. It's like, what the f is that? Now, you have to pass the showers to go to the urinals. And as I'm passing the showers, there is a curtain open. And what was in this shower was a little tiny, short, hairy Asian dude fingering his asshole with the curtains open just waiting for somebody to come in and stick their mushroom tip in from behind. This motherfucker getting thrown out of the gym every week for this, bro. Nasty as.
So let me get this straight. You had this guy he's going in the locker room and just butt fucking himself.
Yeah. Well, why do you think he was doing that? You tell me why you think he was doing that. What was he looking for? What did he want to happen?
So he had the door open, and so he wanted to get caught.
Curtain open. No, I don't think he wanted to get caught. He wanted to get.
Oh, you think it was an invitation?
He wanted to. Yep, bro got thrown out like 3 times. I don't know why he didn't ban his ass.
It's like those dudes who get like 60 UIs and are still driving.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Eventually, you gotta call it quits. Ban his ass.
3 strikes, you're out. You can yourself in the ass 3 times. Was it messy?
All right, I don't
No,
remember.
okay, all right. I want to ask, how'd you know he got caught multiple times?
I was asking people about him, and I reported him to the front desk.
And they knew?
Yeah, they're like, oh, that motherfucker. They knew who he was.
All right, we got to go in there and grab him.
Yep. Threw his ass out again, and I'm pretty sure I saw him doing that shit another time.
Maybe he was just cleaning real good.
Why the current open, though?
So he was a repeat offender, and everyone already knew about him already. Do you think they knew him by name?
I would think so. I mean, I don't know if they ever called the cops.
I feel like they should have.
I was a minor at the time, too. I was like 16, 17.
A nice after-school workout, and you get flashed by a dude fucking shoving his fingers up his butt. All right, I think that does it. All right, well, thank you, Dylan, for sharing your story. I appreciate it.
So as you can see, when it comes to public restrooms, you really are rolling the dice. And don't get me wrong, sometimes you'll come across a perfectly clean and well-maintained lavatory. In fact, some places like Buc-ee's are well known for their cleanliness when it comes to their shitters. But realistically, most establishments aren't so well kept. So next time nature calls and you're forced to use a communal bathroom, just be careful. And maybe don't splatter your doo-doo batter all over the toilet, you animal. If you like this video, share it with a friend who's known for pissing all over the toilet seat. And maybe check out this video right here where I get way too hammered building a computer. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe as I have more on the way, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.